Today I'm going to teach you 5 beginner crochet stitches, so let's get into it. Alright, grab your worsted weight yarn. I'm just grabbing my 7mm crochet hook so I get a nice loose swatch, and grab some stitch markers or a bobby pin or safety pins just so we can mark the end and the beginning of our row so it makes it easier to crochet. You're going to start with a basic beginner slip knot. There's many ways to do that, and I do have a video on slip knots if you want to go check that out. Insert your hook, and we're just going to start by chaining 11. And you just do that by yarning over and pulling through. All right, now we're going to skip that first chain and go into the second chain. So there's like braid looking things, and you're going to skip the first braid and go into the second one. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through that first loop, yarn over and pull through 2. And while you still have that stitch right there, you can grab your stitch marker and insert it through that first stitch just so we mark the beginning of our row. And then you're going to insert into that next chain space, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Find your next space, insert, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and you're going to repeat that in every chain. And then your stitch count should be 10 because you skipped that first chain and went into the second one. All right, now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now you have stitches. And you can tell which ones are stitches because you'll have the 2 V's on the top. So you're going to insert under those 2 V's, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you can take your stitch marker and insert it through those 2 V's just so you can mark the beginning of your row. And then you're going to repeat that all the way around. Find those 2 V's, go under those 2 V's, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And you're going to repeat this till the end of your row. And when you get to the end of your row, I'm going to show you why that stitch marker comes in handy. If you're a beginner crocheter, I highly recommend doing this because when you get to the end of the row, it's very easy to skip over that last stitch. But now that you have your stitch marker in that last stitch, you can take out your stitch marker and make that stitch, and you haven't skipped any stitches. So if you just want to chain 1, turn your work, make your first stitch, insert your stitch marker. When you get to the ends of your rows, you're not going to be skipping over any of those stitches. Again, we're back to our stitch marker, so take that out, make your last stitch, chain 1, turn your work, make that first stitch, and insert your stitch marker under those first 2 V's. And that's it for your single crochet stitch. Next, we're going to be working a stitch called the half double crochet. So you're going to begin by making your basic slip knot, and I'm just going to start all these stitches with a chain of 11. All right, you're gonna do the same as before, skip over that first braid, go into the second one, but this time you're gonna yarn over first, then insert your hook. With the single crochets, all you did was inserted your hook. You didn't yarn over before, so you're just gonna yarn over, insert your hook, pull through 1, yarn over and pull through all 3. And just like before, I'm going to take my stitch marker and place it under those 2 V's so that I don't miss my first stitch. Your next stitch, yarn over, go into that next chain, yarn over, pull through 1, then yarn over and pull through all 3. You're gonna repeat this. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, and pull through all 3. You're gonna repeat this till the end of your row. To begin your next row, chain 1, turn your work. You're going to yarn over, insert under those 2 V's, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, and pull through all 3, and take your stitch marker and insert it under those 2 first V's. And just like before, it's just so you don't miss that last stitch of your row. So you're going to continue the same thing down the row. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Repeat that to the end of your row. And we are at our last stitch. So pop out that stitch marker, make your final stitch, chain 1 to turn your work. You're gonna make that first stitch, so yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3, and insert that stitch marker into that first stitch, and you're just going to repeat this same pattern all the way down. At your last stitch again, pop out that stitch marker, make your last stitch, chain 1 and turn your work, make that first stitch, and insert your stitch marker. And that's it for the half double crochet. Next, we're going to be working our double crochet stitch, so start with a slip knot and a chain of 11. For this stitch, you're going to skip over the first 2 chains, work into the 3rd chain, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And just like before, we're going to take our stitch marker and mark that first stitch. You're going to repeat this all the way down. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Repeat this all the way across. And by the end of your row, you should have 9 stitches because we skipped those first 2 chains. You're going to chain 1, turn your work. You're going to yarn over, insert into that first stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to take your stitch marker and insert it into that first stitch. Then we're going to continue the same thing down the entire row. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to repeat this all the way across. And at the end of your row, you're going to pop out that stitch marker, go into that last stitch, make your stitch, chain 1, turn your work, make that first stitch, so yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Insert that stitch marker, and you're just going to repeat the same pattern for the entire double crochet pattern. The next stitch we're going to use is a treble crochet. This one isn't used as often as the other stitches are, but it's still good to practice those stitches. So again, you're going to start with a basic chain of 11. You're gonna skip over those first 3 chains, go into the 4th, yarn over twice. So now you'll have 3 loops on your hook. You're gonna insert your hook into that 4th chain, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So I'm gonna show you how to do that again. Yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 again. Oh, also don't forget to pop that stitch marker into that first stitch. We're going to continue that down the row. So yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. You're going to repeat this to the end of your row. For this, you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work. You're going to start by making that first stitch, yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 one more time. Take your stitch marker and mark that first stitch, and then repeat the same pattern down the entire row. Pop out that stitch marker, make that last stitch, chain 2 and turn your work, make that first stitch, and pop back in that stitch marker. This would be a great stitch if you want to make a blanket, like a mesh blanket, and it doesn't take that long to really build up the project. It grows very fast. This next stitch we are going to do is one of my most favorite stitches. It is called the moss stitch or the granite stitch, and you're going to start by making a slip knot and chaining 11. Now we are going to start in that second chain from our hook and make a single crochet, and you're going to mark your first stitch with your stitch marker, chain 1, skip the next chain, work into the chain after that, make another single crochet, chain 1, skip 1 chain, go into the chain after that, make a single crochet. You are really making half the stitches because I'm gonna have 5 stitches here instead of 10 because we are chaining 1 and skipping 1 chain. So just to make it easier to see my stitches, I'm going to change my color. I'm going to chain 1 to turn my work. Now, instead of working in that single crochet, you're gonna find the place where you chained 1. There should be a pretty big gap, and that's where you're gonna make your first stitch. Just make 1 single crochet, and we are going to mark our stitch. You're going to chain 1, skip over the single crochet stitch, work into that chain space, and make a single crochet. You're gonna repeat this down the row. Now when you get to the end of your work, you're gonna pop out that stitch marker, and instead of going into that stitch, you're gonna work into the chain space before the stitch. And you should end your work with a single crochet. So chain 1, turn your work. And for this stitch, you might wanna place your stitch marker into that chain space instead of the actual stitch because we are working into the chain spaces of the row. So skip over that first stitch, work into the chain space and make a single crochet, chain 1 and continue that all the way down the row. Now when you get to your last stitch, you're not going to be working into that stitch like I said, you're going to be working into the chain space, the turning chain that you work to turn your row. Chain 1, insert that stitch marker into that chain space, turn your work, and we're going to repeat the same thing for all the rows. And you'll see that it actually takes less time to work this stitch because you're working half the stitches because you're chaining 1 and skipping over a stitch instead of working into every stitch. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.